Patreon.
Hey!
Christian doesn't have to give us money.
We're live, Matthew.
Wait,
we're
we
live.
are?
Yes, I just told you we're live.
I didn't know. I wasn't ready.
I know.
I like this view much better than the squished up little Instagram view we were a second
but we're
ago.
still a little.
We're too close to each other?
No, we're not centered.
Oh, I see. It's much better to be able to spread
There
out
we
like
go.
this. All right, we have one friend. We're just going to sit here for a second,
Yes.
enjoying being not quite as close to
Yes.
each other as we were before.
If you could,
Yes.
in the chat,
Yes. Identify
tell
yourself.
us you're here just because we're looking at this.
I see one little eyeball.
We're doing this through
Alright.
a streaming. Oh, I wonder if we can see.
Should we check to see if it's working? Let's see.
Yeah, you
I'm going to
should.
go to YouTube.
We should because this is going to be recast. We shouldn't spend the first 5 minutes looking around aimlessly, right?
Yes, you're right. But shouldn't we
Yes.
see if it's?
We probably should. Go
shouldn't
ahead.
we
Go
see if
ahead.
it's
Go
there?
ahead.
This
Go ahead.
isn't aimless. This is purposeful.
I'll entertain the
All right,
troops.
YouTube.
Well, okay.
This is all sort of new technology.
Today
for us,
is St.
friends.
Patrick's Day. We went over to Matthew's mom's for dinner, and she provided these fabulous ties for us.
It says our very first actual stream, so I think that means it's actually happening.
That's what's
right?
happening.
Okay.
I mean, I titled it our very first
Right,
actual.
and
So
I'm
that
gonna-
was not by accident.
I'm
So-
going to go
oh,
over
look.
to Facebook. Wait.
Oh, Mindy! Hello, Mindy!
Oh, hello, Mindy.
Aww.
Mindy, I never thanked you for the very nice package of hearts that you sent our family
Yes.
for Valentine's Day. I should have done that.
You should have.
Know
I
that
thought I
my
trusted
love,
that to you.
you did. The love landed.
There we
It
go.
made us feel very good.
I was too. That light
Oh,
was
look,
so
here
glaring.
come our friends. I see them. I see them approaching.
Why are you in the dark?
I think I just have a slightly different skin complexion you do,
You
Robbie.
do.
We
I
come
look
from
like
we come
I'm
from
made
different
out
people.
of sunshine.
you are.
Hi, John.
Oh, hello, John
this is so
Stratweiser.
nice.
Friends, we just came from my mother's house.
I just told them all of this already. I just told them that.
What was I doing?
You were, I don't know, looking at your phone.
My brain was. So I have to tell you something, friends.
Mhm.
I have a bit of a fever. It's bad timing. I'm not feeling great.
You are a little warm.
What part of I have a little
I
fever?
thought
Did you
you
not
meant
understand?
my brain has a fever, which
No,
absolutely.
I'm not feeling
seems
great. I think
true.
I'm going to take this off in spite of that. No, I can't do it. So, friends, we are going to give you a little trip down memory lane. As some of you know, many of you know, we spent the 2022-2023 school year living in a 23-foot tiny home school bus with our 4 children, no bathroom, rooftop bedroom for the kids, a garish mural all over the
Garish,
outfit.
excuse me.
Lovely
a
mural.
lovely mural.
We drove 34,000 miles. We visited every single U.S. state. We visited one Title I school in every state in this country and D.C. Several schools we visited, states we visited 2 schools because they were just so grand. Friends, we were on this mission because whether you know it or not, there are vast parts of this country where books are in extremely short supply. What is the statistic?
There is
Robbie,
a statistic that we found shocking when we first discovered it, and we still find it shocking. The ratio in low-income communities of books to children.
No, children to
Oh,
books.
sorry. Of
Yes.
children to books.
Yes.
300 to 1.
300 to 1.
300 kids per 1 book.
So your average size elementary school
Yeah.
would have 1 book for the children to share.
Yeah.
That is shocking for those of us, including me, who grew up in households where the ratio is exactly reversed. I was surrounded by books. It was a big part of my becoming who I am, of exploring the world, of connecting with others.
And you might think that means, oh, that's just a few communities in, certain places that one thinks of as low-income communities, but it is not true.
51% of the public school students in this country come from low-income families.
Yeah.
Friends, that means that 47,000 of our nation's public schools are Title I schools, which means that more than 40% of their students qualify for free or reduced lunch. What this means is there are a large number of our private public school communities that are troubled by the problems that stem from poverty, where the students come to school with
hungry. They come to school with lots of issues from the trauma of living in poverty. So there's lots of problems in Title I schools that mean that they have higher priorities than bringing author and illustrator visits into their schools. That's not where they're going to spend their money.
rightly so.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
we have seen firsthand as an author and an illustrator going into schools, the excitement, the energy, the connection with books and art and creativity that comes when we go into schools and we do these visits.
It's genuinely the best. When
magical.
people say, oh my gosh, you guys, that was such a sacrifice last year that you did. No, it
It's the
was
best
like the
year of our
best thing
lives.
it was the best.
We got
Yeah.
to do every single day a new
Yeah.
adventure, a new dream, connected with 25,000 friends, gave away 25,000 books through our partnership with Build-A-Bear Foundation. And First Book, we gave away another 125,000 books by other creators. And of course, if you remember, Build-A-Bear Foundation funded 25,000 bears for all of the students
kids that we met.
that we met,
the best.
so that they'd have a bear to go home with and read with during the summer. So for these people, it was an opportunity to have an experience that their own community could not have afforded. We set out on this adventure because in our own town of Chestertown, our public school right downtown, 88% of the students are receiving free or reduced lunch. This is not a school where student homes are full of books. This is not a school that's going to have an author visit. And so we had the opportunity. We went in, we did the author visit, we raised money from you, and we bought books for each of the kids, and we saw firsthand what an impact that could have on a Title I community. So we started doing it around the Mid-Atlantic, and we said, we need to.
Well, how do we keep doing
we
this?
need to go
It's
big.
the best.
We said,
Yeah.
it's probably impossible to raise the money that we would need to raise, but we have lots of people who seem interested in this issue.
Say it was impossible.
Robbie said it wasn't impossible. I said it was impossible. You people proved Robbie right. For that, I
Yes.
resent you.
Yes.
But for every other aspect of it, I thank you. So we went on the adventure of our lifetimes. The most exciting thing that happened, in my opinion,
Yeah.
was that we partnered with Washington College, which is the college in our town. The Department of Education saw our tour as an opportunity to study something that had never been studied, because author visits are usually one-off experiences. It's hard to develop a big enough cohort
You
for
can't really
meaningful.
compare it to a different author's visit.
And it's a
right?
very small
Yeah.
data set.
Mhm.
However, we were visiting 25,000 students across the country in schools that were rural, suburban, urban, schools that were all white, schools that were all black, schools that had all different demographic makeups. And Sarah of the research team, Sarah Clark-Dereza, said, wow, this is an opportunity to, for the first time, measure and substantiate the impact of author visits. And she did. She and her team collected 11,000 surveys from 6,000 students and teachers.
And thank you to all of our Title I schools that signed up to do the research study. That
For
is
working-
extra work on their part
for
that they
getting all the
helped
parent permissions.
yes, it was a lot.
So long
So
story
thank you.
short,
Yes.
they showed
Yes.
undeniably across all elementary age groups that there was a demonstrated assembly effect, meaning a bump in engagement in reading, writing, and drawing as the result of our visits. So every librarian out there is saying, of course, this
Yes.
is what author visits do. But everyone who's ever tried to write a grant and prove the impact of author visits to get the funding they need to bring an author in will say, I never had the numbers to move the dial. Those numbers now exist. We are thrilled that we could be part of this opportunity to create this data for the first time. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So Robbie and I had the best year of our lives. We would have kept on going indefinitely.
Yes, our children
However,
wanted to come home and see their friends and like live in a house and all of the things. So we did have to come home. But
and we do need to make a living and continue being an
Yes,
author and illustrator, which is
yes.
very hard to do while
very
living
hard
in a
to
bus.
be creative and do your creative work on the bus.
However, every morning we wake up and say to ourselves, okay, we connected with 53 schools. We connected with 25,000 kids. That was great. Those kids have books. Those kids met an author. They had that experience. However,
Guess what?
there are 47,000 more Title
Yeah.
I schools that we have not visited that are not going to have an author visit and where there are very few books.
Yeah.
So friends, we need to do something. We need to keep going. And we're very excited to announce. This is what we have two announcements tonight, but this is the first big announcement is that we are announcing Busload of Books Phase 2. We are not going to be living on a bus for a year. We are going to
No.
do that someday. We're
Yes.
already planning the next year-long tour. For now, for the years to follow, we are going to be visiting 12 Title I schools a year. We're going to be visiting 6 in person with the bus, with
And
the dogs.
The kids are going to stay in school.
Our
Those-
kids.
Our children are going
Yes.
to be in their schools.
They're-
They're not going to come with us.
My mother is here to tend to
Yes.
the children.
Yeah.
But we are going to keep doing this work. We're also going to do virtual visits for 6 Title I schools so that we can reach communities across the country that we could not drive to. The bus is very, very slow. As you know, it took us a long time to
Woo!
make that whole loop.
Getting across those Rockies, let me tell you.
So I'm
Mhm.
excited to say every kid and student and teacher in every school we visit next year will be getting a free book that will be provided and sent and shipped and sourced through an ongoing partnership with Build-A-Bear and
And
Build a
First
Bear Foundation and
Yes.
First Book. So
Yes.
First Book will be helping us recruit the schools that we visit. They'll be shipping the books, warehousing the books, and Build a Bear Foundation is going to fund all of the books that we are giving away next year.
Thank you, thank you, thank you to our partners.
But the research is
Yes.
going to continue, and it's going to
Yes.
be able to develop a new question.
Yeah. So the interesting thing, because we're doing, those 6 virtual schools, we're sad that we can't go see them in person, but it's actually going to be a useful metric.
Yeah.
We still want this to be a national project. So those 6 schools that we're visiting virtually, we're going to be able to compare those data sets. Does it make a significant difference for it to be an in-person visit versus a virtual visit? And if it doesn't, that's actually great news, because that means that we can encourage authors to do more virtual visits.
Lot
They're
cheaper.
they're very
Yeah.
easy to do.
So
So that would be a really interesting piece.
we're also launching a partnership with Kent County Schools here in Kent County, Maryland, where every fall for the next 6 years, we're going to visit a different elementary school in rotation. So that
There's only 3.
There's 3.
Yeah.
So during an elementary education, each student in the county will get 2 visits from us, 2 free books from us, and that will give the opportunity for the research team to measure the impact of multiple visits and different types of literacy interventions that we're going to try out over the next 6 years.
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
And King County Public Schools is really excited to do this.
Yeah.
They want to try some different ideas of
Yeah.
how they can follow up. All kinds of things. There's a lot. It's really rich for the research, and we're really, really excited.
So we wish we could visit 50 schools next
know,
year, but
I
we're
know.
really excited we can visit 12.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
we keep going on and on, we're going to visit more and more schools. We're going to keep chipping away at this problem. But ultimately, the research is the thing that will move the dial. Hopefully it will enable
Yeah.
others to take up the work and contribute to, there need to be more buses and more
Yes.
authors and more
Yes.
money
Yes.
behind this problem.
Yes.
So that is the new plan. There's one final partnership that we
Oh.
haven't talked about yet, and that is our partnership with you, friends.
Yes.
And this brings us to our second announcement.
Brrr.
For years, Robbie and I have wanted to create a community. We have met,
We have created a community.
listen, we've met thousands of
Yes.
people over 20 years of making books, teachers, librarians, readers, fellow parents, friends,
Book
the guy we
people,
met by
book
on the
people.
sidewalk.
Yes.
But you're scattered. You're
Yeah.
on all these different platforms and
Yeah.
emails and all these things. We want to consolidate the Robbie and Matthew community
Yes.
in one place.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a site called Patreon,
Patreon.
which is a site that allows you to support creators
Artists, creative people.
that you love.
Yes.
If we
You
are
don't have to love us. You
no,
can just
love.
support us.
I
and
want
hate our
nothing but
guts.
love. If you like us, if you believe in what we're doing, if you want to be part of the conversation, if you want to make sure you get our content, the
Oh.
problem with social media these days is it's impossible to actually get our content to you. There's all sorts of algorithms filtering it out on our Patreon, www.p8.
Wait, look.
Can you pop it up there?
I
Okay.
can.
All right.
Da, da, da,
Do you
da.
have a little tag or badge?
Bing, look at that.
Now, if they're watching on their phone, they can't scan
They
that.
can't scan it. But
All
it
right.
says.
But it's
Oh, wait.
Patreon- Oh, do you have
No,
another thing?
I have another thing.
Okay.
Guys, I'm learning this new streaming
So I'm
software.
going to keep talking about Patreon while you're doing
There.
this. Okay.
Da-da-da-da,
Look at that. Oh my gosh, Robbie, you look so legit.
da-da.
So Patreon is a way to support our ongoing busload of books adventures. We're delighted that Build a Bear is providing the books this time around. There are so many other expenses that we need your help to cover. And somebody scanned the QR. Thank
code.
you, friends. Okay, so let me tell you. You might say, what's in it for me? I may love you, but I also love my money. So, friends, let me say, what's in it for you? There are 3 scintillating member perks. The thing I'm actually really most excited about. Another thing we wanted to do forever is to create a weekly hangout. So every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, henceforth, our Patreon members will be invited to Sunday Snacks, where we are going to get online for a half an hour. We're going to shoot the breeze. Do you shoot the breeze? I think you
Yes,
shoot
that's
the breeze.
what you do.
Why does the breeze get shot? Anyway, we're going to shoot the breeze. We're going to answer questions. We're going to maybe play some songs. We're going to have fun. There's going to be snacks. You got to bring your own snacks. This is
Yeah.
our snacks.
We
right.
it's a
Second scintillating member perk.
operation.
Friends, you might be saying to yourself,
Oh,
Matthew.
thank you, David Horning, for
Right.
putting the Patreon
Thank you, David.
link in the comments here.
You might be saying to yourself, Matthew,
Mhm. Yes.
I seem to remember in times of yore that you used to create outstanding celebrity portraiture that baffled and bewitched me. You might have seen my book, Matthew Draws Volume 1. I am quite in demand, much misunderstood and often maligned as a celebrity portrait artist. However,
There's
if you
3
join
people who demand very loudly.
If you join
Yes.
our Patreon, you will be given exclusive access to new batches of Matthew Draws. You will be allowed to marvel, but just wonder in mind-boggled stupor as to who I've drawn.
I have to
And then
say,
I will tell you that you are wrong.
and
Okay?
then I was
What?
I was trying to look for appropriate an appropriate Matthew Draws to put on
Yeah.
the Patreon
What's
page?
appropriate?
Well, just somebody that like everybody's heard of.
Yeah.
I mean, this is only, what was this, from 2016?
Look,
Already the celebrities are not
Kate
like,
Blanchett. Everybody knows Kate Blanchett. Look at her right there. So anyway, look, Danny DeVito, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
Danny
yes,
DeVito.
those
So
two,
Robbie,
those
Sarah
two.
Palin. I mean, I'm just saying
Well,
the
not
iconic.
everybody knows who Sarah
All
Palin
right.
is anymore.
Anyway, scintillating
Yes.
member perk number 3 is the kitchen sink. That's a
Yes.
metaphor. We're not
Mhm.
going to give you the kitchen
Nope.
sink, but we are going to be able to talk with you about the things we can't talk about on social media.
Yes.
Won't talk about on social
Mm.
projects we're working on that we're not supposed to talk about
Yeah.
yet. When Robbie breaks something and we don't, well, we might actually just put that on social
I
media.
never break anything.
don't
What are you talking? You break things.
You broke your tower the other day. All right. Anyway, we're going to give you the
Tower broke
inside scoop.
itself.
See what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
what we'll
I
give
did
you the
not break
truth
that.
about that. We're going to create a community. We would love for you to be a part of it. I'm excited that this is an opportunity for us all to gather. I think
Yes.
on the internet, which is so diverse, here's a place where people who like what we're up to and want to be a part of it can come together. You can support our ability to prioritize this kind of work over the many other things. Look, our lives are a hodgepodge. We have to do a million things to keep the lights on here. And we want to be able to prioritize the Busload of Books
Yes.
work, which otherwise does not pay us anything.
Yes.
So if you want to be part of keeping it going, join us, help us out, and
enjoy the many perks.
the scintillating
The
perks.
scintillating perks
All
of
right.
being part of our Patreon team.
If, however,
Yes.
you are saying to yourself,
Mhm.
Patreon sounds complicated. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to give you $15 and never think about it again.
Yes.
You can. Do you have another button for this?
I didn't
Oh,
put that one
all
up. I'm
right.
sorry.
If you
Here.
go to busloadofbooks.com/donate, you can
Yes.
remember that. Busloadofbooks.com/donate. Fever. You can donate to our GoFundMe,
Mhm.
or you can make a tax-free donation of $100 or more to our partner nonprofit, the wonderful, beloved Kent Cultural Alliance, who helped us so much in the first phase of this work. Robbie's going to give you. Can they like?
I'm going to give you a ticker.
Can they click on a ticker? Oh, look at that!
Ding, ding,
Oh,
ding, ding, ding,
oh,
ding, ding,
we
ding.
look so official, friends.
I mean,
all right.
it's pretty corny, but
Okay. All right. Never
Now
mind.
you know.
So now you've got all the things.
all the things.
Patreon.com/Robbie
you
and
have
Matthew.
a QR code up there.
Busloadofbooks.com/donate. All right. So friends,
Yes.
our goal is to get 1,000
1,000
supporters
subscribers.
on Patreon. There is also a free option on Patreon
Yes.
if you want to join us and you don't have the means or interest in
That's
giving
also
money
fine.
to us. That's
Yes.
fine. We want 1,000 supporters of
Yes.
any level. You can choose the level that works best for you. Everybody who has a paid membership gets the same perks, gets access to Sunday
Yes.
snacks, Matthew
Yes.
Draws, scintillating.
We're sorry if you're the sort of person who wants to get more things with more money.
We might put, yes, if you want more things with more money, write us an email and
And
tell
we'll-
us what the
we'll
wager
do the
is.
antics.
Yeah,
we'll do whatever you
Yeah,
make us do.
but we
But we
want this
don't
to
need
be a
to- yeah.
democratic
Yeah,
approach.
yeah.
Give us more money if you really believe in what we're doing and you have more money to give.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
If you don't worry about it.
The last thing you need to know is that
Yes.
1 week from today, from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be
Yes.
hosting
A telethon.
/bus party.
Yes.
Where we're going to
We're
hear.
gonna talk to some of the teachers from the tour.
Yes.
We're going to talk to some of the kids from the tour.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Sarah of the research team, Dr. Sarah. We're going to talk to, who else are we going to talk to? David Hornick.
to our noble bobblehead.
Yes, our noble
He who
bobblehead.
sat upon the dashboard will
Mhm.
surely share some words of wisdom,
Mhm.
or he's shared lots of words of wisdom. He's very good at sharing URLs, promoting self-confidence, and cheering us on. So I think that's it. Friends, let's review.
Yes.
Busload of Books Phase 2 is nigh. We had such a good trip. The research was so affirming of the impact of what we did that we must continue the work. Friends, not just to connect with 12 more Title I schools next year, but to keep the bus as a message about the pervasiveness of this problem in all of our minds. We're trying to spread awareness of the fact that there is a huge inequity in education in this country, and it's
All over the country.
and it's having a big impact.
Yeah.
We cannot fix the problem. We're going to do our best to chip away at the problem, but we need all of us to care about the problem.
It's a very
to
tiny,
solve it
12
together.
schools out of 47,000 is a tiny, tiny, tiny chip.
Yeah.
So we are sad about that. And we wish that we could do it all,
But
but
we are
can't.
excited
And we are
about the
excited.
support that
Yes,
you all have
that you
shown
all-
us.
can help us keep going.
We would never have gotten this far without you
No.
in the first place. I thought the tour was going to never happen because it would be impossible to get enough support.
I mean,
You proved
when
us wrong.
when we started talking about this, we said, well, if we can only make enough money to like go for a month,
We'll do it.
then we'll go for a month.
That would have been
That
sad,
would
though.
have been so sad.
When we
I'm so
got to
glad-
the end of the first
Yeah.
month, we said, aren't we glad we get to
glad
keep
that we
going?
get to keep going.
So
Yeah.
we want to keep going now.
Yes.
We want to keep going now. We need your help to make it happen. If you
Yes.
believe in this work, if you believe in us, contribute how you can.
This already sounds like a telethon. You just
Oh.
sounded like I feel like you
Oh,
could
this
have
is-
worked.
Wait, this is like gone from announcement into
Yeah.
telethon.
Yeah,
mode?
you
Let's stop it
sounded-
then.
I know.
Telethon is next week. Last thing I want to say is in the last telethon,
Mhm,
we set certain goals.
mhm.
And at one goal, I had to read my humiliating college application
Yeah.
essay. At another goal, Augie.
We all wish that you hadn't done that.
I know,
It was
everybody-
really
everybody,
embarrassing.
yes. And
And
Augie,
yes,
who was then 8, I think,
Yeah.
got to cut
He gave
Robbie's
me a
hair
haircut.
with no restraint. He did an okay
he
job.
did a great job.
did
What are you
an
talking
okay
about?
job.
He's 7
Yeah,
or 8.
there was
Yeah.
one person who was horrified at the thought of it. I'm not going to name her. She was really upset, but it worked out okay. This time around, we want you to provide the horrible things that we have to do. Somebody suggested Robbie dye her hair pink.
Yes.
Somebody else suggested that, WYPR Vibes, thank you for joining us this evening on. This isn't Fresh Air. I can't take her program.
Fresh air.
Fresh Air.
Yeah.
So, but friends, what do I need to do? When we announced on Instagram about a half hour ago, somebody said, Matthew should have to eat a whole package of Peeps. I hate Peeps. I hate them so much.
Mm,
But would I do it if we got to 500 Patreon subscribers? I would, friends. I would do it. I am committed to our Patreon. I am
Yes.
committed to the busload of books.
I mean, as
Make us
somebody-
work for your support, friends.
as
Yes.
somebody who likes Peeps, I
Yeah.
feel like that's not such a.
Yes,
I
but-
think we
but-
need to set the bar higher.
Well, set the bar higher then.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
Mhm.
I'm going to put up a post this week
Yes.
asking for ideas. I want you to share them.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Shelly Lyon, who was a
Yes.
teacher we met on the Busload
Oh,
of Books
is she here?
tour. She was on here earlier. I hope she's still here. She's right there. If she's still there, Shelly, we love you. We appreciate
Yes.
you. You give very good hugs. One of my favorite moments of the tour was having dinner with Shelly and some of her colleagues, going out to the bus, having a hug, and having Shelly tell us how much our books
Oh,
meant to
don't
her.
get me started.
Oh, no.
You're
I
gonna
mean,
make me start crying.
As an author, having somebody respond to your books with that kind of sincerity was really meaningful.
So nice.
The whole year was full of meaningful moments.
Yes, every moment, every moment.
I wish you
uh,
all could have come with us. We're going to do the next best thing, which is to continue these adventures and tell you about them so that
Yes.
you can be a part of this important work.
And hopefully see you guys on our Patreon chats, on our Sunday snacks. Like
please.
we want to keep in touch with everyone.
Even if you don't like us and don't believe in our work,
Oh,
go over to
look.
Patreon to read the funny language that I wrote
yes,
for all the different giving
Matthew worked
levels. and
really
kind of-
hard.
I did. I wanted to be. I wanted to make it a very. Oh, good. Shelley's crying again.
Oh.
Yes, that was my goal. I think
look,
people should.
Mariah says, I think people should suggest nice challenges.
What
for
would
your
that be?
telethon
Like
goals.
Matthew can take a
Like
hot bath.
Robbie eats the Peeps.
Oh, and Matthew takes a hot bath. I'm going to go do that now. I'm going to let you go. We've set ourselves the promise, friends. If you say, why would I want to go to Sunday Snacks when those two are going to yammer on all night long? No. Sunday
30
Snacks,
minutes.
30 minutes. We're going to set a
We're gonna
timer.
Cut it off.
There's going to be an agenda.
Yep.
This was my
Matthew's
agenda for
good
this
at
evening.
The agendas.
I'm going to create an agenda for Sunday Snacks. We're
Mhm.
going to methodically tick off the items.
Yeah.
And when we get to the end, friends, we are going
It's
to
going
press.
to be done.
And if we run out of time before we get to the end, we'll have a good start on the agenda for next week. I just
Hi,
want
Becky Neiman.
I just
Becky Neiman over here. She is she's here. I'm gonna show her comment. She just said heart.
oh, and here's
But we're gonna be talking with her next week.
Becky's going to be one of our
Yes,
guests.
She's gonna be one of our guests.
Oh,
for
it's
the
going to be a
telethon.
surprise.
Oh,
Now,
oh,
I just
sorry.
want to say, somebody
Yes.
just commented. Our
Mhm.
friend Rupal from Kansas City
Oh, okay. Hold on.
said, "Oh, are we going to
I'm
show
gonna
it?
show.
Oh, you can show it. You convinced me. I've become a Patreon
Aw,
supporter.
thank
I've never
you.
supported.
Aw,
Thank you. This is not
Good
a pitch.
pitch.
This
I
is a
was gonna
statement of
say-
sincerity. We're not trying to convince you of anything. All right, we're going to go. You're going to go.
yes.
I hope your team was seeded favorably in the NCAA tournament.
Oh.
And what?
Oh, that happened.
That happened.
We went up against the NCAA tournament seeds.
No, it was over by the time.
Oh,
Anyway,
Matthew planned that. I'm sure.
I
You
did
were-
not plan that.
you
I don't care
were
about
well
basketball. I care about.
Jeff is really lobbying for me to dye my hair purple.
All
I've never dyed my hair before.
right,
So
we'll see.
I just
we'll
want
see
to
how it goes.
say,
Robbie
uh,
and I
yeah.
are terrible. At
thank
editing
you, Greg
videos.
Waddell. Hey,
What?
this,
What did you say?
this is one of Greg's candles
We-
that
we-
was holding up our
this-
camera before
If
in
you
the
know
Instagram.
Greg and you're an insider, you sometimes get candles that something went wrong with. Still smells
It's
really
so
good.
delicious.
So it didn't get a beautiful
Yes.
label, but we still
Lodestone
love it.
candles.
I
Thank you.
shouldn't
you,
say
Greg.
that there's ever a candle that's not perfect in Greg's world. All right, we're gonna go.
Yes.
Friends, thank you. Patreon.com/Robbie and Matthew.
Wait.
Busload of Books Phase 2 rolls on starting next September. Thank you for everything you have done for us so far. Thank you for being in our team, on our team.
Wait,
Wait,
look.
what are you doing? Do you have
I-
what are we showing?
there we are down in the
There
corner.
we are. Nobody wanted to see
No,
that because
wait,
we're up
that's-
here.
that's
Wait,
not
is
what
there
I'm
something
trying to
else?
do.
What are you trying
What
to
am I
do?
trying to do?
What?
I'm trying to do this one.
Bobby is proving my point.
There we go.
There we go. Join our Patreon. Here we go.
Guys,
Look,
I'm learning
there.
this. I'm learning how to be.
We're gonna get better.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I don't know.
work
We
it
might
out.
not get better, but
We
I'm
appreciate
going to
you.
learn.
Mwah.
Yes.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
friends. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
We'll see you next week.
Well,